like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Kpop. Before we begin, allow me to ask one simple, but deeply honest, question. Can something truly end when its presence still feels so alive? Season 2 of Are You Sure? Has officially come to a close. Yet this ending was not born from exhaustion nor from failure. It arrived after enduring an unrelenting storm, endless criticism, systematic attempts to tear it down, mass reporting campaigns, and even efforts to erase it as if it had never existed. And yet, they failed. Because when a story connects with its audience through sincerity, rather than cheap drama or forced conflict, no collective outcry is loud enough to bury it. In this video, we will not treat Are You Sure as light entertainment. We will examine it slowly, honestly, without turning away. Because the longer this series is reflected upon, the harder one conclusion becomes to avoid. This is not the end. And perhaps, it was never meant to be an ending at all. What makes Are You Sure so compelling is that it never shouts for attention. It does not sell drama. It does not rely on conflict. From the very beginning, its strength rested on one simple yet irreplaceable thing: the natural dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook. A closeness that cannot be fabricated. An intimacy that could never be sustained for hours if it were fake. A sense of comfort that only exists when togetherness is chosen, not forced. And perhaps that is exactly what unsettles some people. Because in every episode, almost unintentionally, the series keeps revealing the same truth. When Jimin and Jungkook are together, there is no stiffness. No distance. No excessive caution. What exists instead is something that feels domestic. Ordinary. Almost intimate. Traveling together. Sleeping in the same place. Wandering through cities without grand plans. Sharing silence. None of it feels like content. It feels like a routine they have long known and cherished. This is where the critics' contradiction begins. While they insist that Are You Sure has truly ended, the series itself whispers, sometimes speaks outright, of the opposite. Many have labeled Season 2 as a definitive ending. No more trips. No future seasons. But to uphold that narrative, one would have to ignore Jungkook's own words. Words repeated across seasons, across moments. Let's return to the beginning. Season 1. No pressure. No script. No joking tone that could be brushed aside. Jungkook calmly said he wanted to film 12 seasons with Jimin. 12. He even added that he wanted to keep filming together until they were 50 years old. That was not the voice of someone being forced. Not the tone of someone uncomfortable. It was the voice of someone who had found a safe space and wanted to remain there for as long as possible. And if anyone tried to convince themselves that it was mere fleeting hyperbole, Season 2 shattered that illusion. Because Jungkook did not just say he enjoyed the show, he showed it. Through relaxed body language. Consistent enthusiasm. Genuine emotional presence. There was no coldness. No distance. Everything flowed naturally. Something that only happens when a person is exactly where they want to be, with the person they want to be there with. All of it culminated in the final episode. An episode that some tried to force into a farewell, when it felt far more like a promise on pause. Instead of speaking about endings, they spoke about the future. Jimin said firmly, without hesitation, without a maybe, "This is not the end of this show." Jungkook responded carefully, not with denial. And when Jimin reaffirmed it, Jungkook did not argue. They were aligned. As if they both knew, this isn't finished, they're simply taking a brief stop. Then came Busan. Not as a vague idea, but as an emotional necessity. We have to go to Busan for Are You Sure? The word have to speaks volumes. This was not a casual option, it was a need. Busan is not just a destination, it is a route, an identity, a space they want to share together. And from there, the thread continued beyond the screen, into real life. Some time later, social media erupted again. This time, not because of an episode, but because of Switzerland. Piece by piece, details about Jimin and Jungkook's time there began to surface. What started as light rumors slowly became impossible to ignore. The trigger was simple, a video Jimin uploaded. He danced in a warm, relaxed room. But what stunned people was not the visual, it was Jungkook's laughter behind the camera. Natural. Undeniable. Then their hotel was revealed, the Dolder Grand, Zurich. A place synonymous with extreme privacy, exclusivity, and top-tier security. More than that, the hotel is known for being LGBTQ+ friendly and for collaborating with inclusive wedding planning platforms. It is difficult to dismiss that choice as coincidence. The Dolder Grand is not a spontaneous decision. It requires planning, reservations made long in advance. A choice made deliberately, with one priority in mind: comfort, privacy, and freedom to be together. Their activities reflected the same intention: nightwalks, feeding swans, walking side by side without seeking attention. There was even a witness at Zurich's Love Lock Bridge, a symbol of eternal love, who chose not to interrupt, allowing the moment to pass quietly. And that is where its power lies. Not in posing, not in deliberate proof, but in presence. When all these pieces are put together, a larger pattern becomes undeniable. After military service, their choice remained the same: to stay together, to walk side by side, to keep creating memories. Were they filming something? Perhaps. The minimal staff suggests that if there was any filming, it was not a large production. Maybe just a small vlog, a visual journal, a quiet record, not meant to be displayed, but to be kept. And perhaps that is where the true meaning lies. Are you sure? May have stopped at a certain point, but the story behind it, the safe space, the journeys, the togetherness, has clearly not ended. Because some things never truly end. They simply keep moving together. When everything connects, are you sure? Busan, Switzerland, the laughter behind the camera, the deliberate choices of place, and the steps always taken side by side, one truth becomes increasingly clear. What ended was only a season. Not the togetherness. Not the safe space. Not the journey they chose to continue sharing. Some stories are not closed with the word end. They simply pause before taking the next step. And perhaps that is the deepest meaning of all. Are you sure? Is not about cameras, episodes, or a show title. It is about two people who found comfort in each other's presence, on screen and in real life. If you feel the same way, if this story also lives in your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Because as long as the story is still being told, as long as its traces can still be felt, this is not the end. They are simply continuing to walk together.